I'm a biracial person with a white dad and a black mom. That makes me both Caucasian and African American. But people often get confused about my ethnicity. I have straight hair, which is not very common for mixed people. I grew up in Texas, where most people thought I was Mexican. But now I live in Massachusetts, where I never had any problems with my race until this day. I'm also married to a white woman who had a son before we met. His biological father is not around much, and I stepped up to be his dad because I love him and his mom. He's 4 years old now, and I've been in his life since he was 1. What happened there? Before start the story, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Story Podcast Book. Let me tell you what happened. My wife needed some stuff from the grocery store and some other errands, and she usually does them by herself while I'm sleeping. I work night shifts. But this day, I was awake and I offered to go for her. She deserves a break. She works so hard and does so much. I took my son with me so she could have some rest and some peace. It was also a good opportunity to bond with my son. We did all the errands without any trouble, and then we went to the grocery store to finish our day. My son was acting like a normal 4-year-old, running ahead of me, laughing and talking to everyone he saw. I didn't mind, as long as he didn't bump into anyone and stayed in my sight. I was looking for canned corn in one aisle when my son ran to the other end, where an old lady was coming in. My son, being the friendly and outgoing kid he is, greeted her and said, "Hi, me 4 and me Ryan. He's such a sweetheart." The lady looked down and said, "Well, hello there. You shouldn't be running around alone. Let's go find your parents." I didn't think much of her comment because I thought she just didn't see me. "Ryan, come back here, bud, please." He ran back to me, smiling and spinning around. Because he's 4, I was still looking at the shelves when the lady walked past me and stopped behind me. I didn't pay attention to her because it's a grocery store and you have to share the space. I turned my cart around and started to walk to the checkout when this lady blocked my way. I said, "Excuse me," and tried to go around her, but she moved her cart in front of me again. I thought she was just confused and said, "Excuse me" again and tried to go around her one more time, but she blocked me again. Then she said, Sorry about that. We'll get out of your way." Lady, "Oh no you won't. You're not leaving with that child." Me, "You mean my son?" Lady, "That's not your son. He's white. And you're Mexican. You probably didn't even know his name until he told me." Me, "Yeah, sure, lady, whatever you say. Can you just move? My wife is waiting for us at home." Lady, "Don't lie to me. You're not taking him anywhere, you creep." The whole time my son was holding my leg because he was getting scared. I was getting angry because I was tired and I have a short temper. Me, "Can't you see he's holding me because he trusts me and you're frightening him? Why don't you leave us alone?" Lady, "No, he's holding you because he's afraid of you. He just doesn't know how to say it." She looks at my son. Lady, "Come on, sweetie, I'm here to help you. Come with me." I'm grateful that my son was able to tell her he didn't want to go with her. But she didn't care. She literally took my son and started to run. I was stunned because I couldn't believe what was happening. My son was screaming loudly because he was so scared, and this lady was just like, "Don't worry, sweetie, he won't hurt you, I promise." Suddenly, I came to my senses and I ran after this crazy witch. While running through the store, I shouted for people to stop her and that she was kidnapping my son, and thankfully a worker stopped her before she got out. Lady, "Why are you stopping me? This Mexican here is trying to kidnap my grandson." My son was crying his eyes out and reaching out for me. This lady wouldn't let go of him even after he slapped her face several times. I chuckled a little, not gonna lie. At this point, a manager showed up and asked what was going on. The lady spoke before me. Lady, "This pervert is trying to kidnap my grandson and I was just trying to get away." Me, "That's my son, you freaking psycho. Now let him go." The manager didn't know what to think. I don't blame him. He was caught in a weird situation. So I took out my phone and showed him pictures of me and my son that dated a year or so back as proof. This lady still wouldn't give up and accused me of faking them. Like, how would you do that exactly? I'll never know, but whatever. Sadly, there were 2 other ladies there taking the psycho's side and said I was trying to kidnap my own son because there was no way we were family because of our different skin tones. One even called the police, which I was actually happy about because I knew they'd be able to check the security cameras. Even still, I called my wife to see if she could come to the store to get this situation sorted out faster. As soon as I told her what was going on, she sped to the store. She got there around the same time as the police. The crazy ladies were giving their statement to the cops when my wife walked in. As soon as she walked in, my son goes, "Mama, help." My wife is a true mama bear and she instantly went into a fury when she saw this lady holding my son. Wife, "Let him go now." Lady, "Sorry, sweetie, I was just trying to protect him from this pervert over here." Lady 2, "Yeah, we saw him trying to kidnap him, but this lady saved him." The cop looks at the lady and is confused. Officer, I thought this was your grandson? Wife. I have no idea who that lady is. She takes out her phone and shows the officer a picture of my mother-in-law. Lady. Okay. I'm sorry he's not my grandson, but I was only trying to protect him from this dirty pervert over here. Lady 2. Yeah, I saw the whole thing. He grabbed that child and tried to run away with him, but this lady stopped it. Lady 3. Yes, I saw it too. He needs to be arrested. And you should be thankful that this lady was here to save your son because you obviously just let him loose wherever. Wife. Who are you talking about again? All 3 crazy ladies pointed at me. Wife. Oh, you mean my husband. Lady 1. Husband? Wife. Yeah, who do you think called me and got me here so fast? I showed my ID to the officer and the manager, and so did my wife. We also showed them pictures of us on our phones to prove we were a real family. The cop nodded and gave us our phones back and wrote down some notes. The 3 ladies still kept saying this was all a hoax, and my wife was part of the kidnapping, and we should be arrested. My wife snapped at this point and said some words I won't repeat here, but she made her point clear. Then the final blow came for the psycho trio. The officer turned to the manager and asked, Officer, sir, do the cameras work here? Manager, yes, we have them inside and outside. Officer, okay, good, let's go check. The 3 ladies turned white, like really white. The officer checked the outside camera and saw me park my car and take my son out of it. And then as I walked through the aisles, and most importantly, the moment the woman grabbed my son and ran. When he came back, he asked, Officer, do you want to press charges? Lady 1, yes, I do. Officer, why would I be asking you that question? Shut your mouth and sit down. He turns to me and asks again. Me, yes, I do. Lady 1 was charged with attempted kidnapping, false imprisonment, making a false police report, and child endangerment. The other 2 were also charged with making a false police report. To make things worse for Lady 1, my son bruises easily and she left some awful marks on him from where she was holding him. But he's fine. This added a charge of child abuse to her list. I have court later this year, but I don't know when because of the pandemic. The officer will follow up with me in a few weeks. This story is a shocking and unbelievable example of how some people can be so ignorant and prejudiced. It shows how important it is to respect and celebrate diversity and not to judge people by their appearance. It also shows how strong and loving a family can be, even when faced with such a horrible situation. I hope this story can inspire others to stand up for themselves and their loved ones and to spread awareness and kindness. Thank you for sharing your story with me. I'm glad you and your son are safe and happy.